Welcome to Rich's era. No one is extra effective than former President Donald Trump in relation to turning out Republican electorate in Texas, as evidenced via way of means of his report-shattering campaigns for the White House. Before we continue, please support us by clicking on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell for more reliable updates. Yet, on the equal time, there's nobody extra risky to Republican possibilities in November than the previous president, who could be in Corpus Christi on Saturday night time for one in every of his unfastened Make America Great Again rallies, earlier than heaps of adoring supporters. With early vote casting beginning on Monday, Trump's venture is to get MAGA Republicans fired as much as vote, as he did in advance this month in Arizona. If you need to forestall the destruction of our USA and shop the American dream, you need to vote Republican up and down, the line Trump stated at that rally. But political professionals warn that he fires up Democrats too, endangers making the election approximately himself, as opposed to a referendum on President Joe Biden's low approval rankings in Texas. Midterm elections are traditionally terrible for the sitting president's party. Trump is risking that benefit via way of means of making himself the middle of the verbal exchange, via way of means of conserving rallies and locations with probably near races, they say. This is what Trump does any place he goes, even supposing it is in deep pink territory, stated Larry Sabato, director of the Center for Politics on the University of Virginia. He thrills Republicans and motivates them to vote, and he infuriates and disgusts Democrats and motivates them to vote. There isn't in it any doubt Trump drives GOP turnout. However, Republican political strategist Brandon Scholes stated it's satisfactory to maintain him in solidly pink regions, in which he's much less of a hazard to provide a Democratic backlash in blue regions or maybe toss-up regions. The ultimate aspect I want is to have Trump stir up the Democratic base in a near election, Scholes stated. Scholes, who's primarily based totally in Wisconsin, stated he's satisfied Trump fired up Democrats and fee the GOP dearly in that nation. He stated with extra near races this year, he advises Republicans to maintain Trump away. But in Texas, Republicans had been dismissing that kind of advice, planting Trump in Robstown in Nueces County, which has been a swing county over the previous couple of election cycles. While Trump carried the county in 2020 with nearly 51% of the vote, it's also a county that Democratic candidate for Governor Beto O'Rourke received in 2018, with 50% of the vote over U.S. Senator Ted Cruz. Governor Greg Abbott and his marketing campaign seemed to have had little say into in which Trump determined to speak. Abbott's senior marketing campaign advisor Dave Carney stated they heard approximately Trump coming, however stated he didn't suppose their enter turned into solicited. He delivered that whenever the president can tour and rile up the bottom and get human beings fired up to show out, it is an awesome aspect. Still, Abbott could be 1,000 miles away while Trump touches down in Corpus Christi. I welcome President Trump again to Texas, even though I reserve be capable of welcome him individually, when you consider that I could be out of nation for a pre-deliberate fundraising ride to Florida, Abbott stated in an assertion in advance with Inside the Week. Sabato says he's now no longer amazed Abbott could bypass the occasion so near Election Day. It's one aspect to wait a rally with Trump at some point of the primary, however this near the election, there's no telling what he would possibly communicate approximately that a marketing campaign has to reply for, in particular amongst suburban electorate, who have been repelled via way of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Attorney General Ken Paxton could be on the rally, in keeping with an assertion from Trump. Both are in tight re-election races, in keeping with what confined public polling has been launched. Patrick is strolling in opposition to Kingwood Democrat Mike Collier, and Paxton is being challenged via way of means of Brownsville Democrat Rochelle Garza. Patrick turned into Trump's marketing campaign chairman in Texas at some point of each his campaigns, and Paxton turned into at Trump's January 6, 2021 rally in Washington, D.C. with Inside the Morning earlier than the U.S. Capitol turned into attacked. Paxton additionally attempted to get the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn election effects in different states on Trump's behalf. What makes Trump so volatile is his effect on impartial electorate, stated Trump's former national security advisor John Bolton. In the summer, a political motion committee Bolton runs placed out a ballot of key battleground states that confirmed amongst independents 38% had a positive view of Trump and 48% had a negative view of him. Bolton stated Republicans want to maintain their emblem far from Trump's, particularly in locations in which independents should determine the races. "I suppose he's poisonous for lots of electorate which you want in an aggressive race," Bolton stated. Trump's ballot numbers are even worse in Texas, in keeping with the modern-day Quinnipiac University ballot launched ultimate month. In that ballot of 1,327 possibly Texas electorate, 44% had a positive view of Trump and 55% had a negative view. Among independents, simply 38% had a positive view of him. Trump is likewise now no longer well acquired via way of means of both Hispanic electorate or women. In each cases, simply 38% of electorate had a positive view of Trump, the Quinnipiac survey found. Still, with Trump on the pinnacle of the ticket, Republicans set facts for buying electorate to the polls in 2016 and once more with inside the 2018 midterm election. In 2016, Trump received nearly 4.7 million votes in Texas, a report. 4 years later he shattered that report, triumphing 5.9 million votes, as he carried the nation via way of means of 6% factors over Biden. However, Trump has additionally driven Democrats to report turnout. Biden received 5.3 million votes in Texas in 2020, extra than any Democrat in Texas history. In different states, Democratic voter turnout turned into so excessive it fee Republicans' races, because it did in formerly pink Georgia, in which each U.S. Senate seats flipped from Republican to Democratic control. You can't forget about the truth that he's the motive why Republicans misplaced each the U.S. House and the Senate, and of course, the presidency, Sabato stated. Scholes stated the handiest properly motive to deliver Trump on this pass stew with inside the marketing campaign could be his Hail Mary, if the GOP is genuinely suffering to get electorate to the polls. But Scholes stated that's a caution signal that something has long passed extraordinarily wrong. If you don't have the Trump electorate now much less than 3 weeks out, to me, you're simply too